Okay, the last video we pasted a title block into our layout. Now we need to kind of customize it. Obviously, some of the parameters that we put in there are acceptable, where we put the project, so forth, but um, we can't, run through something that's not valid, such as this logo. So we want to update that. Now this is a block that was pasted in to uh, this sheet. So notice if I click on it, all of the items turn blue, which is means that it's editable. If I click on it and then right click, it allows me these options: block editor, edit block in place, edit attribute. So I want to edit the block in place. Okay, this is the reference, the title block. Now that I have it editable, I'm not in my drawing anymore. Notice that the color is kind of faded, which means that, and this is very prominent. So I'm in this particular drawing, not in my main drawing. So I'm going to just select all of these. Clean some of this up. I'm just going to team name. I just double clicked on those text boxes to, this is just showing you how to do this. You can customize it how you see fit. If you want to, you can put a logo in there. I'm going to scale it. Properties again works for any of the nested objects. Could potentially change the style if I wanted to. Maybe I want it there. There's lots of options here. Also change any of the scales or so forth. And we've already talked about ways to do this in the past. If I want to center it here, in the same way, I'm not going to do this this other block. You can figure that out on your own. So as I've changed all this, and maybe I want to change some of these others. Notice that the attributes that I had earlier, they don't have the particular name in there, and that's actually the attribute. It's a linked cell, almost like an Excel program, and that's why it's showing up different. So now that I've made my changes, I'm going to save changes. Give me a warning: all reference edits will be saved. I'm going to hit OK. Okay. So notice again, if I hover over the block, that all of it highlights, which is what I want. Okay, so now as I begin to set this up, I can just copy the layouts in order to transfer all of the information over. There's no need to go through this process multiple times. Now I may want to get my layout set up and then start copying sheets, but for right now, let's just let me show you how to do that. So if I'm on the sheet, I hit right click, move or copy. So it allows me to move in order. Of course, I can drag those as well. But when I hit create a copy, it applies the same information to the layout, and then they're the same. Of course, now I can go in there and adjust it. So I'm going to rename this sheet G2. So now G1 and G2 appear different. I'm clicking back and forth between the tabs. So you can see my title block is the same, but the display is different. Here's where you would use your viewport overrides for your colors and so forth to begin to customize each individual view. So let's just print this and see what it looks like, or plot it. So when I hit plot or print, it brings up this dialog box, and it's telling me it wants to plot sheet G2. I have already set up the plotter to be drawing to PDF. It knows the page size, 22 by 34. It's asking me to plot the layout. I'm going to change it to grayscale. Okay, and then as soon as I do that, I want to hit. First, there's some options here. You can plot with plot styles, which we'll go over in a future video. There's several different things. You put a plot stamp on it that says what time and date it was actually plotted. Okay, so let's preview. So here's our title block, and since it's in grayscale, I have my objects in the view here. And if you end up with a box, if your viewport does not line up with your title block, then you can put that viewport on depth points layer, and it won't plot. You don't want to see another box in here, so only one box needs to be shown. Of course, you'll need to fill in some of this information, correct this. You may not have this title block. You may have a bottom title block. It doesn't have to be the horizontal. I'm sorry, the vertical. It can be horizontal. It could just have a panel here. All of those are customizable, and you should do that for your project.